Hello and welcome back to RedditRead, a channel where we read Reddit stories and talk about them a little bit. No AI voices here. I read all the stories myself. And today's theme is all about family drama. Isn't that crazy? Family
Usually
drama.
That's the juiciest drama ever.
Usually it is.
I love to hear people's family drama and then relate it to my own and be like, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
Family drama is also like, it's nice to look at it from the outside. So like if it's your extended family and you're not really involved, but you know about it, that's when it's good. Now we get to be like the extended family in these stories and we get to watch it from the outside as it unfolds.
Yeah, and then judge it.
Yeah. Oh, we'll be judging.
Oh, we'll be judging.
Hard.
Very hard.
Before we get started, guys, remember to subscribe, hit that like button down below, and watch the video all the way through, because I don't know if you just heard, but YouTube is doubling the requirements to become monetized at the beginning of next year. So we need to get to 4,000 watch hours before the end of the year this year. So help us do it. Watch the entire video, hit the subscribe button. We need to get to 1,000 subscribers as well. And if you do it, I'll suck your
Not me, though.
I've been thinking of that joke all day. That one.
What?
I've been thinking about that all day. I'm like, I really want to make this joke. All right, so offers on the table. First story comes from Best of Redditor Updates, originally posted on Am I the Asshole? Title reads, Am I the asshole for exposing my parents' favorite...
Oh. Bro's too busy thinking about dick right now.
Title reads, Am I the asshole for exposing my parents' favoritism? So original post is from October 28th, 2021. My parents have always favored my younger brother. I was by no means unloved, but it was blatantly obvious who they cared about more. I worked a part-time job to get my first car, but my brother got one as a present. It wasn't new, but was much newer than my car. It was the same with just about everything else, like clothes, video games, and cell phones. I'm 18 and I'm taking a gap year before community college to work a full-time job and save money for tuition. But a while back, I heard my parents talking about how much they were going to pay for my brother's tuition. I secretly recorded the conversation from around the corner and then came out asking my parents why they were going to pay for my brother's college but not mine. They didn't notice my phone was recording and just said that my brother needs more help. I asked how so when I wasn't getting any sort of scholarship and he likely wouldn't either. Then I asked a few more questions about why things had been this way. They got mad and my father told me that perhaps it's time I moved out because they are sick of keeping a roof over my head. I pointed out that I pay rent, but they didn't care. I left the room and in a fit of rage uploaded the video to 2 different social medias. I've ranted about how this is how my parents have always been. Well, a few hours later, my parents were pounding at my door. My dad was screaming at me about how I made them look bad. We fought some more and they left the room fuming. My grandparents contacted me later and said they were appalled, then came to visit with a lot of the family the next day. There was a huge family intervention and my parents were made to sit on the couch and look at their feet while being told off. It was then I found out they had been receiving money for years from my grandparents to help with family expenses. My brother looked like he didn't know what to do, so he sided with the rest of the family and said he's noticed how I'm treated as well. My parents gave me a huge apology that sounded forced. My grandparents have offered that I come to live with them soon, and they will cut off the monthly payments to the parents. My father told me I should never have told the rest of the family and now won't talk to me. And my mother has been crying for days. So I'm starting to wonder if I went too far. So am I the asshole for exposing my parents' favoritism?
Nah. It was deserved.
Hold on, I'm just kind of reading ahead here.
Oh.
But not an asshole for that because, okay, well, here's the thing. Posting it on social media is a little petty. But
I can honestly get behind that. Yeah, it is a little petty, but also it's like
it was deserved though. I'm not saying it wasn't deserved because it was, but secretly recording someone and posting it on social media, I'm not a huge fan of.
I want to know what 2 forms of social media he posted it on. Imagine everyone on Facebook's like, oh my God.
Okay, well, the family saw the video, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it must have been Facebook because I'm not following my family on anything else besides Facebook. All the other social medias, that I'm not following them there.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's probably like Facebook and Instagram.
I was thinking maybe Snapchat to like
Maybe.
get your friends. Facebook for the family, Snapchat for the friends.
Yeah,
You know?
could be that. Also, thinking about it from a legal perspective, depends on where you are. If you're in a different country, or if you're in the US, what state you're in. If it's a one-party consent or two-party consent.
Mhm.
Because some states only one person has to consent, which would be you because you're recording it. But other states, it has to be two-party consent, so
Yeah.
you have to tell the other person that you're recording, otherwise it's illegal. So we don't know what
How fucked
state
up would
she's
the
in. but
mom and dad be if they came after him with illegal?
That's what I'm worried about.
They're gonna
'Cause
be
I'm
like, you did this illegally. But doesn't that really only count if, like, I don't know, I feel like in this case, if I was a police officer, and this is just my opinion, and someone called the cops and was like, he recorded me without my consent, I'd be like, okay, who's he or she? They'd be like, my daughter or son. I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. I'd be like, are you for fucking real? What did they record and do? You know, like what were they recording? And if they said an argument, I'd be like, okay, what the fuck do you want me to do? Genuinely, like, take this up with someone else.
We don't know. Oh, no. She said they didn't notice the phone was recording. Because if they saw it, then that's kind of like implied consent if they saw that it was recording. But it could be illegal. Probably not. That's probably not an issue. But
Yeah, but this is Reddit and best of Redditor updates. So
that
it is like,
that is true.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, listen, I think I'm just a bad person because I like being petty in the regards of I'm not one to stir the pot like this, though. Like, I don't think I could ever do that, but I always can get behind someone who does, you know?
Yeah, and I guess so it turns out the grandparents were sending money to the parents that they were supposed to be, I guess, splitting equally between the two kids, but they're giving it all to the brother. That's
First of all, I gotta say this. Shame on the brother for not noticing or saying something sooner.
Well, it sounds like he didn't notice until this intervention happened, and then when it did, he didn't take his parents' side.
I'm telling you right now, I think I would notice, though, if my parents were giving me more attention than they were my other siblings.
Well, I don't know, because I don't have siblings. But if it's been like that, I would think if it's been like that your whole life.
All I'm saying, right, is if my parents bought my brother a car and then they didn't even buy me one and I had to purchase one of my own, I think I would be like, And I think my brother would notice too, you know, you would think. He'd be like, huh.
that does seem pretty blatant.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't think the brother's like totally in the wrong, depending on like what the information we have. But it's also like, damn, what a brother. Doesn't even notice until the whole family's there yelling at the mom and dad. And he's like, you know, you guys are right. These guys suck.
Maybe that's why they give him more stuff, because he's stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he's just stupid and they feel bad.
Honestly, that checks out.
Listen, that's dumb logic, but considering that this is Reddit, that totally could be the reasoning.
Yeah. Or do we know if OP's a girl or a boy? Because for some reason, I was picking up more that this was like a girl, because I feel like that's pretty common. Like, parents will show more love and stuff to the firstborn boy.
If it's a guy or a girl. I was assuming it was a girl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but I just was.
It's because of the treatment, man.
Yeah, I guess I'm just sexist, I guess. I don't know, but
Sexist?
Because I just assumed that it was a woman.
I mean, I did too, though.
Okay, so we're both sexist.
I just think I noticed, you know, that women tend to be treated, the daughters tend to be treated like this more, you know?
Well, and she's 18, so the brother's still like a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So, but she says it's been like this her whole life. Because I was thinking if like this just started happening now, well, he's still a kid and you're an adult now, so it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
But he's getting a car, so he's at least 16.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that much of a difference anyways.
Yeah.
So there's an update. Obviously, it's best of Reddit updates. So the update comes from November. The first post was from October. Wait, how long is that? What
So,
what
like,
month is
3
in between
days?
that? September? Wait, no. October? No. There's nothing in between there.
Other than like 3 days.
Oh, yeah. So okay, so
Yeah.
So the updates are from a few days later. I was thinking it was like months later. But no. Okay, so the update's from a few days later. Okay. So, update reads, I decided to go ahead and call my grandparents to accept their offer to move in. During the phone call, I asked them why there was monthly payments being sent to my parents. Turns out my parents were living beyond their means for a while because my mother quit her job to be a full-time stay-at-home mom. My grandparents decided to help out by sending them money monthly to help my parents' mortgage and also set aside some of that money for college savings for both me and my brother. And that was to be split evenly. It turns out my parents only planned to put that savings towards my brother's college, and that's also how they bought his car as well. So from now on, my parents are now on their own financially. Likely, my mother will have to go back to work to help my dad keep up the mortgage. I confronted my parents and asked why they've always treated my brother as the favorite, then asked if there was something I needed to know. Turns out there was nothing, literally nothing. I'm not an affair baby. Not even an unplanned pregnancy. They just liked my brother more. I was mad as hell, and we argued a lot before I left the room because I had had enough. That's not it, but that doesn't seem right.
That is
Nothing?
that
They're
can't
hiding
be.
something. Let's see. My grandparents showed up on Saturday with a moving truck. My parents were floored when we started bringing in boxes to pack. My father got in our way, and I reminded him how he said that I should move out, so I am. My mother cried some more and said that my father was just angry in the moment when he said that, and they had been counting on my rent money to help my brother's college fund. What the
my
fuck?
God.
I asked if that meant he would ever have had to pay rent like I did when he turns 18. My father said that since I was taking a gap year to work, then my rent money could have helped my brother, which means they never intended for him to get a job while going to college. My grandpa was enraged and confronted my father, saying he raised him better than this. He chewed him out, saying he's never been more disappointed in him and they will no longer receive any more financial support. Then said he'd disown both of them if they ever tried to retaliate against me for exposing them. My father backed down, and neither he or my mother said another word to me. I had a bit of an awkward conversation with my brother as we said our goodbyes to each other, and that was it. I just got in my car, waved, and drove off. I'm now fully moved into my new room at my grandparents' house. It's a little smaller but nice, and my grandparents are very welcoming. I'm going to keep working hard to move forward from here, and I appreciate everyone's support.
I'm sorry. I gotta say this has got to be fake, bro.
They're-
Like what?
They're either it's fake or they're lying about saying it's nothing. Because
Yeah,
it's not nothing.
because there's no way it's just nothing.
Maybe they are. Okay, let's assume that OP is a woman. Maybe they are genuinely sexist.
See, that's what I'm leaning toward. Or maybe OP's just a piece of shit, and we should hear the parent side of the story or something.
Well,
Because something's not adding up here.
and I'm thinking that because she said that the mom quit her job to be a stay-at-home mom. And okay, we don't know how long ago she did that, but she's 18. The other brother's about to turn 18. I'm like, so I'm assuming these kids are already at least teenagers. I'm like, what? You don't need to be a stay-at-home mom when you have teenagers. Like, why are you doing that? I feel like she's doing that like a trad wife
Oh
thing.
my God, yeah.
So
yeah.
I feel like she is sexist. She's
Yeah.
like, well, I'm a woman, so I'm a stay-at-home mom, and my daughter, she's not gonna go to college, but
Yeah.
the brother, he has to. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only explanation is like they had to have been disappointed. If OP's a girl, they had to have been like disappointed it was a girl. Like they had to have wanted boys or something.
yeah,
Like that's the only thing that makes sense in this situation. And for this to work out with my logic is that this is OP's a girl and that, yeah, they are like very traditional. But for me, that's weird that they would then make her go out and like get a job and like have a woman support a man, you know? I don't know. This is so weird. My thing too is like, has there not been tension before? Like, is this like the first time that they've confronted or like had these arguments? Like, this feels like it came out of a landslide. Like, all of a sudden, everything went downhill, which isn't impossible to happen.
yeah.
But it's just like crazy that there was no OP just one day decided to record the conversation and confront her parents.
But somebody posted in the comments of this that the original poster posted this comment in the original. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay. And they said, well, I and most of my family are Caucasian, and I think we've got ancestry from England and the UK. I don't know much about it really. My brother and I are also both guys. Okay, so this even makes less sense. So it's not a gender thing. Appearance-wise, I take after my father and grandfather while my brother takes after our mother. My grades have always been better than my brother's, but I'm certain he's just as capable as I am. Neither of us are special needs or have any sort of known disability. My parents couldn't even give me a reason as to why they like my brother more. I just know it's more or less been that way as long as I can remember. My brother is more social and outgoing than I am, better dressed too because he got better clothes, but beyond that, I'm not sure if my parents ever even thought about why they like him more. They just do, which in a way kind of hurts more when there's no reason at all.
I guess, I mean, okay, this has
This
thrown
is
me through the
bizarre.
loop.
This is bizarre.
Maybe it's like the younger child syndrome. You know, like this also is pretty common where the first child is kind of like the test run, and then like the second child tends to be the favorite because they're the youngest, and like the parents kind of knew what they were doing. So,
but they're not even that different in age. If he's already 18, the brother's about to turn 18. They're not even like 2 years apart,
No.
maybe even. So
I'm so confused.
This makes even less sense.
What did OP do? What did OP do?
Maybe there is some major thing that OP's leaving out here.
Yeah.
That like he did or something. Like,
because I just don't. I find this so hard to like, and maybe there genuinely are like bad people out. I mean, there are bad people out there, but this is just like such a crazy situation. Like I could never just like picture, like if all my siblings put me in a room, right, and they were like, why do you like this sibling more? I'd be like, I don't really. I would either have a reason or like I would be able to be like, you know, I love all of you, but like, you know, I'm just closer with this one. So like to me that the parents are just like so like about one kid, but love the other kid is just so baffling to me. Get the parents on the line. I want to talk to them.
yeah, I want the parents to make a post in the comments.
Yeah, I want them to try to explain themselves or shed some light here.
Yeah, but like what you were saying, how like with the first one, it's like a test run in the second one. But if this is how they're treating the second one, they're still not figuring it out because they're just I don't know. They're just, it seems like they're just spoiling him. So I'm like, they still haven't figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I realized if you go to comments on their account, the only two posts he has are those two. So if you go on comments, these are all comments that he's commented on those posts.
Mm.
Okay, somebody asked, how did the parents act towards you between the time they were exposed until the day your grandparents came to help you move? Did they ignore you? Did they try to talk to you at all? And he said, my father was cold and silent towards me. My mother was depressed, and my brother just seemed neutral.
What the fuck?
This is a weird ass family. What the fuck?
There's something going on. There's something deeper happening in that family that we don't know about.
Definitely, because the dad's cold and silent, like he knows something. The mom's depressed,
Yeah.
like she knows something, and she doesn't know how to say it. And the brother is just like,
The brother's like,
Yeah.
I still get a car and clothes.
I still got a car and you didn't, so
Yeah.
whatever.
I don't know. I'm feeling like maybe there's more of like an abuse kind of going on with like the husband and wife. Or like, you know, maybe the dad's just like a piece of shit and always has been. I want to know, like I said, I want to know, have they ever had fights like this before? Has OP ever confronted them? Has he ever like caught them making mean comments? Have they ever, is it common for them to ignore him, you know? Because I feel like I need to know the history of this. Like, how long, is it just that they buy him extra things? Or do they genuinely show favoritism? Like, he'll have a sporting event at the same time you have something, and they'll completely ignore you and just go to the brothers. Like, do they always put you on? I want to know.
Well, I have some news. We don't know.
Fuck you. I was like, what? What? Another update? Yeah, that was crazy. That was rude.
We don't know though. We don't know. This is this was posted 4 years ago, and we don't know.
Yeah, OP, come back, please.
Yeah, come on.
Please comment. Please comment down
Wait,
below.
you know what I'm gonna do?
Mhm.
I am going to message this account right now and be like, "Hey, do you have any updates on
Yeah.
this?"
Yeah, we're really interested in this.
I'm not joking. I'm actually DMing this account.
Yeah. Yo, can we interview you? That's what we should do. We should start asking random Redditors if we can interview them.
Oh my god.
Like, y'all want to come on the show and like be in an interview?
So if I get a message back before I'm done editing this video, you'll see an insert of me right now. All right, so our next story comes from Best of Reddit Updates, originally posted on Am I the Asshole? Title reads, Am I the Asshole for possibly making my parents homeless? Story reads, this isn't just me. It includes my twin brother, my brother, and I, 17-year-old guy, were an accidental pregnancy. Okay, wait a minute. So the brother 17 or OP 17?
Okay, can you read that again?
It says my brother and I, and then in parentheses, 17-year-old male.
I'm guessing if they're twins, then yes.
Oh, I had missed that part. Okay.
I was like, is there another brother here?
Okay, got it. So they were an accidental pregnancy. For context, our oldest sibling is 37 and has a kid who goes to our high school.
Oh.
Our nearest sibling in age is 28. My parents always made it clear that we weren't supposed to exist. They were never abusive or neglectful. Well, I don't know about that. or anything, but they were kind of cold our whole childhood. My brother and I graduate high school in about a week and will be 18 in 2 weeks. My parents told us that as soon as we turn 18, we have to pay rent. Neither of us have jobs, and we probably won't be able to get jobs right now. I confided in my sister that I'm really stressed about this, and she offered to let my brother and I stay with her for a while. We're in university completely free of charge. I'm really grateful for this, and we're planning on accepting her offer. I told my parents about this, and they freaked out. I guess my mom was planning to move to part-time work, and they needed rent from my brother and I to keep up with the rent. They said they have provided for us our whole lives, and we should pay them back now that we're almost adults. I mean, it's true. They've given us everything we needed for 18 years, and I don't really want them to be homeless if they can't afford the rent, but I don't know how I would even afford to live with them. Am I the asshole?
Hell no.
Okay. Before we talk about this, there's a couple edits here before the update. So first edit is my brother and I both have some savings, so we could conceivably pay rent for a few months. I also feel guilty moving in with my sister because she has 3 little kids and a cat to take care of, and I don't want to put any extra strain on her. None of my siblings have a great relationship with our parents, so my parents won't ask them for help. And at number 2, I'm actually shocked by the support here. I've been talking it over with my brother, and we're going to move out as soon as we legally can. Thanks, guys. I also don't know how to add a photo, so for all of you asking for a cat tax, just going to tag my sister somewhere in the comments. Okay, they just want to look at the freaking cat.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so what is he asking if he's the asshole for moving out of his parents' house?
For thinking about moving out, and then his parents can't afford.
Okay, well, here's how I'm thinking about it. He's asking, am I the asshole for moving out of my parents' house?
Mm-hmm.
No. Like,
No.
what?
No. I think his parents, though, they must have guilt-tripped him hard. Well, it's already
clearly.
clear. It's very clear because he literally says, I don't want to make them homeless. First of all, they can afford it right now. The reason why they wouldn't be able to is because your mom wants to go part-time.
Yeah, because she wants to. She hasn't actually done that.
Yeah, and she doesn't have to.
Yeah, so...
She just wants to.
And like you were saying, you can tell that they've already guilted him because he says, he's like, well, yeah, I guess they did take care of us for 18 years. Yeah. It's like, I would hope they did. Like what?
That's their legal obligation.
Exactly.
They did it for all your other siblings. Did they do the same thing to them?
Probably. Because I guess, so, okay, it seems like they have a lot of kids. Mm-hmm. Okay, so because the oldest one's 37 and these are 17-year-olds, and they have a sister, they have another brother, or they have another sibling that's 28. Mm-hmm. So there's at least like 4 or 5 kids here.
Yeah.
At a big age range. Mm-hmm. So they have a lot of kids. It doesn't seem like they have the financial situation to support all of them because they want these youngest ones now to help support them.
Well, the siblings don't live there anymore. So basically the parents just want the twins to support the parents.
Oh yeah, but that's what I'm saying is
Yeah.
that it doesn't seem like they've had the financial situation to be able to like live on their own, like just the parents. So they probably also tried to do this with the older ones.
I
Is
see
what
what
I'm
you're
saying.
saying. I see what you're saying. I think it's just crazy though that they literally are like, no, you can't move out. You have to pay us rent because mom wants to go part time. I want to move out, bro.
Yeah, the guilt tripping is like they're the parents are trying to gaslight them into thinking that, oh yeah, of course you should, yeah.
Yeah.
And like he says that the other siblings don't have a good relationship with their parents. I mean,
That
you
tells
can see why.
Yeah, you know all you need to know with that sentence. And to convince your kid that they're gonna go homeless because they won't live at home and pay rent is such a crazy thing to say. Or like, even if it's like the OP just kind of made that up in his own mind of they're gonna be homeless, that just tells me still that they have made you believe that you moving out is really gonna screw them over. It's not. It's gonna screw over the plan to go part-time.
Yeah, and it's like he thinks they're gonna be homeless, but it's like they're not.
They're not.
Like
no.
she's just not gonna go part time then.
Yeah, she's gonna have to work.
That's exactly it. It's just like the only difference is she's gonna have to work the same amount of hours she's working right now. Like
nothing's
nothing
changing.
is going to change.
Yeah.
Literally nothing is gonna change.
Mm-hmm.
Only stuff is only gonna change if you stay there.
Exactly.
So,
and like my thinking too is like the guilt of not wanting to burden the sister is like, if the sister couldn't handle you guys staying there, she would have never offered.
yeah. But I
Like-
also do understand that like hesitation because she has 3 kids and a cat.
Yeah.
And she didn't say like she was living with somebody else. So
Mhm.
a single mother of 3 kids and a cat, that's a lot
Yeah.
already. But
Yeah. But I mean, clearly the sister probably picking up on what the parents are doing and is like,
yeah.
would rather the twins get out of that situation and just kind of be able to not have to pay rent and go to school and get a job when they can get a job and keep their savings.
Mhm.
You know, she's clearly trying to save them from this situation. And like I said, I think if she truly, truly could not handle it or did not want these boys to live with her, she would have never offered.
And so, okay, so in the edit, they're going to try and move out
Mm-hmm.
as soon as they turn 18.
Yep.
Let's see how that goes.
Oh, no.
So the update reads, hey folks, it's been like 3 weeks and many, many things have happened. I graduated high school. Go me. I turned 18 and I moved out. I finally feel like I'm adulting. God damn it. I hate that word. Okay. He said, I'm adulting, kind of. I moved in with my sister the day after my birthday, and I've been living with her for a bit over 2 weeks. It's been really weird. They do all this stuff in her house that we never did as kids. Family dinners every night. Never done it once until now. My sister and her fiance, okay, so is living with somebody, carve out blocks of time to spend. Let me start that over. My sister and her fiance carve out blocks of time to spend with the kids. My parents never did that. My oldest nephew, he's 10, dropped an open can of pineapple in the kitchen a few days ago. I expected him to get yelled at, but my sister just helped him clean it up and told him to grab a new can from the pantry. That was weird. My parents were never that chill. When I was a kid, I would see these perfect families on TVs. Shout out to Dinosaur Train, LMAO. And my parents always told me that those kinds of parents don't exist, that it was all made up for TV, that real parents don't take that much of an interest in their kids' lives and interests. I believed them until now. In the past few weeks, I've seen my sister and her fiance spend hours making model planes with my oldest nephew or rocking the youngest to sleep when she was overtired. That stuff never happened when I was a kid. My niece, she's 4, woke up in the middle of the night last week crying about something. Instead of telling her to shut the fuck up and go to bed, my sister's fiance got up and sat with her until she fell asleep. I guess I was just surprised that my experiences aren't the norm. Anyways, both my brother and I are doing really well here. My brother has been cooking a lot. He's going to culinary school, and everyone seems to really appreciate it. I've been spending time with my nieces and nephews, and I have played more Minecraft these past 2 weeks than I think I've played in my entire life. If anyone knows what Titanfall 2 is, please help me out. I've been an adult for less than a month, and these children and their newfangled video games already confuse me. This was all just a very long-winded way to say thanks. If I hadn't posted here, I don't think I would have moved out. My savings would basically be drained, and I wouldn't be as happy as I am now. So thank you, and now I guess it's time to see if I can figure out how I can do an update post. Then there's an edit. He says, shout out to my sister for basically raising me for 12 years and also being an amazing parent. I could just go and say all this to her face, but there's so many stairs in this house and I'm lazy. Kalani, how many times am I going to have to say it before you accept that you're a good person? Every time I go to thank you for giving up space in your house for me and Cam, you say if you didn't help us out, it would have been someone else. I get that you have strangely low self-esteem as evidenced by your Am I the Asshole post, but can you just accept that you're an unbelievably good person and move on so I can finally thank you? And at number 2, I have enough advice on Titanfall. Thank you guys. I didn't realize it had such a big community. I now know how to beat every single campaign boss, plus why I should definitely use a Scorch in the last boss battle. Thanks. I don't know Titanfall. I've never played that.
Me neither.
So I don't know the lore there, but so
Damn.
His whole life changed from moving out.
Yeah. Good for him. Good for the brothers, man.
What what's this Am I the Asshole post that he's saying that the sister posted? He linked it. What is it? Oh, wait, am I the asshole for not letting my sister see her kids?
What?
Wait, so it's about one of the other siblings in the family?
It must be.
Because if this is OP's sister and she's talking about another sister, so that would also be OP's sister.
That, or maybe it's like a sister-in-law or something. But I feel like they would have put that. What's it say?
Oh, okay. So she has the 3 kids because they're her sister's kids that she obtained custody of because she's a druggie.
Oh.
So that would also be OP's sister as well.
Yeah.
So, okay. Wow. Okay. So this family's just great, but like,
oh my God.
So that's why she has 3 kids, is because they're the sisters.
So they're not biologically hers. She just basically adopted them because
no, it says she got custody of them because the sister left them alone for 2 weeks to go on a trip, which was actually just a long bender on drugs.
Oh my God. Oh my God. These parents really fucked up, bro.
Yeah. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Wow. This family is so messy. Some of them are good. Like the 2 brothers and this sister are good people. But and then in this post, she's asking if she's the asshole for not letting the biological mom see the kids. And it also sounds like she talked to the kids and they said they don't want to see her. So
see, that tells you all you need to know.
If even the kids don't want to see you, you done fucked up. So.
Especially if they're like young, because a lot of times, even though some kids when they're young, if their parents are still like pieces of shit, sometimes kids still want to see their mom.
Yeah.
Like even if the mom is mean and abusive or does drugs and has left them, sometimes they still do. So this tells you everything you need to know, that these kids were like, hell no, I don't want to see that bitch.
Yeah, they're like, nope. We'll come back to that other one. We'll read that other one another time because that one has multiple posts and updates and like a whole saga. So, but from that, we can convene that this family has issues. But at least this story, this one that we started with, has a happy ending.
Yeah.
So let's be happy for that.
At least the twins can live a normal life now.
Yeah. So that really just does go to show how much these parents were kind of gaslighting their kids into thinking, yeah, this is just, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. This is just
perfect families don't exist.
Yeah. Nope. That's just for TV.
That's such a crazy thing to tell kids. Like, Mom, Dad, look at how happy this family is. And the parents are like, real parents don't care about their kids like that.
That's actually insane to like say that. And at least from what he's saying, they said like exactly that.
Yeah.
Nope. Real parents, they don't care about their kids. Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nope. That's just a liberal agenda on there.
Oh
on
my
that
God.
TV.
Yeah.
Real parents hit their kids. Come on.
Real parents don't like their kids, okay?
Hello, everyone. We just had a very long conversation
Yes.
about a lot of things. It's literally been like 2 hours. So we're moving on to our next story. Don't know where we left off. But next one is from Best Reddit Updates, originally posted on Am I the Asshole? Title reads, Am I the Asshole? Dad gave the business to brother, so I left. My older brother, 30-year-old man, went to university and then worked in the city as an accountant. I, 27-year-old guy, started to work for my dad as a plumber at 15 and went to college to get my qualifications in plumbing and gas. About the time COVID started, my brother moved back from the city and started working for my dad, 55-year-old guy, in accounting. My dad has been unwell for the last 4 years due to asbestos, and it has been really hard on the family, and he's getting worse, but he is still loving life. I've been running the business for the last 2 years. We have expanded now and have 50 vans in the fleet and 1 qualified and 1 trainee allocated to each van. COVID was hard in the beginning, but we have bounced back. My dad still works on tools with me on Fridays, half day, then back to my place for some beers. Friday is the only day I'm on tools now as I'm doing everything to run the business. Well, last month he told the family he is stepping down from the business due to health and wants to spend more time with my mother and is giving the business to my brother and for me to step down from acting CEO. This upset me. I've been with the business for 12 years. At the beginning, it was only me and my dad. My brother never wanted to be in the business, said it was not worth his time, and now he's the boss. Oh, and I've been dumped back to a heating engineer with my 20,000 pound pay cut. He doesn't have any clue what we do or how we do it. I spoke with my dad and he told me that my brother deserves it for all he has done, that he has a family and I don't, and that he went to uni. A lot of the workers are upset about the decision and have told me they will go where I go. I told my dad that if that is how he feels when I leave, and then I will leave and start my own business. I've not spoken to my dad or brother since and have told them to never contact me. For the last month, I've had thousands of calls and messages from family saying some very hurtful things and telling me I'm ungrateful for what I have. So am I the asshole?
Hell no.
Bro, what? You worked for this company for 12 years. So he was the CEO, right?
He was acting as it, because his dad was sick.
So he was acting CEO. He's worked there for 12 years, and the dad just comes in and says, actually, your brother who's never worked here, yeah, he's gonna be CEO now. You're now just, you're back down to employee.
That's so crazy, especially a brother who showed no interest in the business.
He said it's not worth his time.
No interest in this. It sounds like OP, he said what? He started helping his dad when he was 14 or 15.
Yeah.
So he's helping
15.
him do that. He then went to school. He did go to school and got certified for plumbing.
For plumbing and gas.
Yeah. So he does have the qualifications. He's been running the business. Why the fuck would you give it to the brother?
Well, this is also going to destroy the business because he's never worked for the business. He never worked in the industry, anything adjacent to the industry. He has no idea what he's doing.
He did accounting work.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do with this.
And it's
at all.
And all a majority of the employees are mad about this. That tells you all you need to know, that they're all willing to leave and follow OP.
Yeah.
Which means that OP was doing a great fucking job of being the CEO.
Yeah, there's some, we're probably going to find out because there's updates, of course, but there's got to be some reason that the dad is just giving it to the brother instead of the person that has worked there for 12 years and has been acting as CEO.
Yeah, and it can't just be because the brother has family and stuff and deserves it more. I don't.
Because he deserves it more because he went to university and he has a family.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Because that's what defines people's worth.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an edit. He said, I want to say thank you to everyone for your kind words. There are so many to reply to, and I will do my best to thank you all. To hear my father tell me in his own way he doesn't think I'm good enough was hard, and for my family to take his and my brother's side was even harder. In the morning, I will contact the large clients I've worked with over the last 6 years. I know we've had some site postponed due to COVID, big money, and we'll try to take them over. I have 20 of my colleagues wishing to come work for me. I've saved nearly all the money I've earned over the last 12 years, so I think I have enough to get myself on my feet. Okay, so the update is I want to inform everyone that I'm not starting a business to destroy my brother as much as I want to. I spent almost 13 years to build it, and I don't want to see anyone out of a job for the business to die. It's about 0500 in England. You all have helped me so much. What does that mean? Oh, it's the time. It's
Mm.
5 in the. He didn't put a colon in
Oh.
between. I was like, it's 5 in the morning. Okay, I would be going over to talk to my father at about 8 o'clock, and we'll take him out for breakfast and to talk. I'm not sure if I will get a proper answer from him, but I love my family and I want my future kids to know them. I will update after the events of later today. As I said in one of the comments, I believe my family had found my post, and they did. Okay, I didn't read that comment, but the family found the post. This morning when I arrived at my parents' house, my mom opened the door and looked like she had been crying a lot. My dad came over to talk to me, and we went out for breakfast. He didn't say a word on his way there or when we arrived. When on the way back, he asked if we could pull over and talk. I can honestly say this was the first time I saw my dad cry. I asked why he did this to me. He said he doesn't know. I keep pushing, and he finally told me he owed it to my brother for not being about for him as much as what? That does not make grammatical sense at all. I think what he's trying to say is for not being there for his brother as much as he was for him when we were growing up. And there were times my brother needed him, but he was working. I couldn't believe it. After 12 years of hard work, that was his reasoning. I told my father I'd spent half my life working to do everything for the business, and now he throws me to the side just because his son came back hurt more than I could explain. He told me he knows as they had been shown the post I put up. To my surprise, he wasn't mad. He seemed remorseful. Told me my mother has been in pieces after reading the comments about how bad she treated me and thinks I will never talk to them again. My dad told me after reading it all, he released he should have split the business between us to keep progressing, and apologizes to me for telling me how proud of me he was of everything I had done, and thought I know how proud he was. Yeah, this guy does not know how to word things correctly. Jesus Christ. But my brother has full control. My father has no more say, and my brother would never go 50-50. He told me he wants to go to back as my God, Jesus Christ. This guy's writing is, maybe this guy is a fucking idiot, because this is the worst writing I've ever read on here. He told me he wants to go back as my brother. He will need me. I told him that's not my problem anymore. After they demoted me and cut my pay, I tried to make it work for 3 weeks, but my brother wouldn't listen, didn't believe I know what I was talking about, telling me he knows how to run a business. So I left my work ass off.
Oh.
I don't even know. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, I get it. So I left. Period. Why work my ass off there when I could do the same work and make more money for myself? That's what it's supposed to say. My dad broke down, said that he had destroyed the family and never should have done what he did. I don't understand why I took this long to realize I was a valuable piece in the company. That's update 2. That is the worst writing I've ever read in my entire life.
I guess I'm confused too, because what do you mean just now you're realizing you're an asset? That's literally what your first fucking post was saying, is that this place is going to drown without me.
Yeah. Okay. Also, I'm sorry. I have to point out the spelling. Every single time he says realized, he just spelled the word release, but it's supposed to be realized. And every time he said he just put IV. So maybe this guy is an idiot. Because this is the worst grammar and spelling I have ever read on here.
He didn't go to uni, okay? He's just a plumber.
Okay, you don't need to go to university to know how to grammar correctly. And they're clearly from the UK because he's talking about in pounds. So I'm assuming English is his first language. Mm-hmm. This is the worst writing I've ever seen before. I'm skimming through the rest of this because I cannot read the rest of this out loud because it is so poorly worded and spelled. So it looks like the rest of it is, so they asked him to come back and he said, no, fuck off. So that's all we got. We don't know if he was successful with his business or not, but dude, go to Grammarly, please, because that is the worst writing I've ever seen in my entire life. But so we don't know why we still don't know the core reason why the dad did this.
I guess I'm just confused on some events here. Is one, the dad gives the business over to the older brother who has not worked for the business and has done accounting. And if he did help the business, he did accounting work. So he's never actually done plumbing, and he hasn't run a business before because all he's done is accounting, and accounting is not the same as running a business. So the dad gives it to the brother and then says, I gave him the business because I wasn't there for him when he was younger, and he has a family. Okay, interesting.
Okay, so if he feels bad that he wasn't there for him when he was a kid, so his solution is to now screw over the other son that maybe he wasn't so bad to and essentially do the same thing to.
But like my confusion is, it sounds like when OP and the dad went out for breakfast and they pulled over on the side of the road and were talking, it sounded like the dad understood what he did was wrong. And he understood and he wished he could take it back. But because he already did the transfer of power to the brother, he can't take it away. It's too late.
Yeah.
So he clearly states, I'm sorry. He's like, I can't believe I've done this. It's tearing apart the family. Then he invites him over for dinner. And then he's like, you need to come back to the business because we need help in the morning. So how are you going to go from, I understand I messed up, I never should have done this, to, well, by the way, I know you left, but we do need you back.
Yeah, tomorrow morning,
ASAP.
8 a.m.
Yeah, in the morning. So, like, I feel like that's such a crazy flip-flop of being like, I shouldn't have done this, understanding.
Yeah, maybe he just said that because he was hoping that he'd be like, okay, I'll come back.
Yeah.
But that didn't work, so.
Yeah.
Well, the app glitched again and it cut off the bottom part. There actually is a final. That wasn't the end. I just saw that here now. It just popped up. So I'm just going to summarize it again because I cannot stand this guy's writing. But he says that the new business is going very well. Him and his fiance are happy and they're planning the wedding right now. The family, including the father, brother, all of them, they are still refusing to talk to them and said they won't come to the wedding.
Good for him that his business is doing well, though. Hopefully he doesn't respond to emails the way he is typing.
Next story is from Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for refusing to share my inheritance with my dad after brother? Nope. God damn it. Next. Am I the asshole for refusing to share my inheritance with my dad and brother after discovering a family secret? My grandma, parentheses dad's mom, left me, 27-year-old woman, and dad's 52-year-old man portion of her inheritance, but left him and my brother, 30-year-old man, nothing. For context, me and my brother have never met my granddad. According to my dad, he and his father had a very toxic relationship. After my dad and my mom, 49-year-old woman, met, they started dating at university and they had my brother. My parents then got married, which made my granddad stop talking to my dad. A couple of years later had me, and we've been living happily ever after. After my granddad died, my dad began to spend more time with his mom. We got to also spend more time with her, and we even spent the Christmas holidays at their house. She was this sweet old lady who just loved us so much. Her energy was so electric and contagious. I won't lie when I say that Christmas as a teenager were my most cherished times. Sadly, my grandma passed away last year. After her funeral, I and my two aunties were called to speak to a lawyer. She died with a house worth more than £500,000. For context, she lived near Oxford to her name and over £200,000 worth of cash and other heirlooms. When we went through the inheritance, the lawyer explained that she divided it into 3 equal parts. It was between her 2 daughters and me, who got my dad's share of the inheritance. She left her son nothing. When my dad found out, he protested and asked how that was possible, but I wasn't too concerned. During the proceedings, my grandma's lawyer, who was in charge of the inheritance, gave me a letter written by her a year ago. In this letter, to be read after her death, she explained that her husband, my granddad, had disowned my dad completely. This is because my dad is not my brother's actual father, as he's a child from a relationship my mom had previously. My dad met my mom when she was pregnant with my brother. My grandparents, my granddad in particular, thought this was extremely weird. He did not approve of this and was vehemently against it. My dad didn't listen and married my mom a year after my brother was born, which prompted my granddad to excommunicate him for good. During the years, my grandma stayed in contact with my dad, but my brother and I, did not meet her until after my granddad died. The thing is, neither my brother nor I knew that my dad wasn't his biological father.
Am I the only one who's confused?
Yeah, I'm confused as well. Hopefully we get some clarification here.
Okay.
A day later, my dad called me to discuss the inheritance, but I didn't want to meet him. He doesn't know that I know, and I don't know how to tell him I know. I haven't received any money yet, but based on this, I feel like I will not share it. My family are understandably calling me greedy, but I don't really trust them anymore. This is already causing heavy division in the family, and now I feel like dropping this news will destroy my family completely. Should I just be truthful about the reasoning, or what should I do? Okay, this is confusing as fuck.
I'm super confused on whose dad is not the dad. Who?
So OP's dad.
Yes.
OP's the way I think I'm understanding this. I think OP's dad is not the grandmother's biological. Wait, who died?
Grandma died. So OP's grandma, mother of her OP's dad, has passed away.
No. Okay, so the grandma's husband, so OP's grandfather disowned OP's dad completely.
Yes, because of a reason that I don't understand.
Because OP's dad is not OP's brother's actual father.
Okay.
He's a child from a relationship that OP's mom had previously.
Oh, okay. So OP's dad is basically a step parent to the brother. So the OP's brother is basically a half sibling. They only share a mom. The dad is different. And so granddad was mad because his son was accepting a son that wasn't biologically related to him. So
no, I think it was because the dad met the mom when she was pregnant with the brother. And they thought that it was weird.
Oh, okay.
So he didn't approve of that and was against it. But OP's dad didn't listen, and they got married a year after the brother was born.
Mm-hmm.
And the grandfather excommunicated and disowned him for that.
Okay. This all makes sense now.
The grandma, though, stayed in contact with OP's dad and the brother and OP, but they didn't meet her until after the grandfather died. But they didn't know that, that whole secret.
Yeah. So OP basically found out that her brother is a half sibling.
Yes.
And that.
And the reason that the dad's not getting any of the inheritance is because the grandfather disowned.
Yeah, and so the grandma's basically following through with her husband's wishes.
Yes.
Of not giving the dad the money.
Correct.
So basically,
what
they disowned the father. The brother is not biologically related to grandma and grandpa, so they didn't want to leave the brother any money. So they left it to the only biological grandchild they had, which is OP.
Yeah. So the money was left to the grandmother's two daughters and the one granddaughter, not the brother.
Okay, here's my thing. The grandma in her will specifically said that she wants the money to go to OP. I think it's kind of a bogus reason to disown your son because of the reason that they have. I'm leaning more towards that this is kind of a sticky situation. Do I think OP has the right to keep the money? Yes, because it legally was left to her. Do I think it's necessarily right to just keep the money? I don't know. I mean, I feel like that is kind of greedy because here's the thing. The grandma, OP's dad's mom, seemed to have a relationship with him still, right? Grandma clearly loves the granddaughter, her grandson, who's not biologically hers, and her son. To me, it's kind of weird that she would be like, because of all these stipulations, is because the grandfather, who's been dead for some years now, disowned my son, I'm not going to give him any money. Because this is grandma's money. This isn't granddad's money.
No, I think it's both of theirs. Because he died first.
But he died years ago, it seems. Because OP was, 26, 28?
No,
And
but
she was
but
talking,
it has to be both of their, like, they must have had joint finances. Like, it has to be both of their
but
money.
he's dead.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If
But it
his
can't be joint money then
yeah,
because he's dead.
it used to be, is what I'm saying. Like, when they were both alive, it was joint. So when he died, it all went to her, and now
Yeah.
that she's dead, it's
She can divide her money though because it's her money now. Granddad died, and it seems like he died a long time ago because OP said that they didn't actually meet face to face with grandma until after he passed, and she spent her
Yes.
teenage years
yes.
going to Christmas. OP's now like 28. So that's a good, I would say 12, 13 years that grandfather's been dead. So when he dies, grandma gets the money. So it's technically grandma's money right now.
Okay, yeah.
So why is grandma still following through with
Well,
this?
because the will was probably already written from before the grandfather even died, and she just didn't change it.
But that doesn't make sense either, though, because his will shouldn't affect her will. His will most likely said he probably didn't have a will, realistically,
No, they
because he's married.
I think they probably. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because they were married, they have joint finances, so they had like a joint will of where this money's going to go. So this was and the grandfather disowned him, so they probably agreed, okay, we'll do this with the will. We won't give him any money. And that's why now,
Yeah.
unless she wanted to change the will.
But that my confusion is why didn't she change the will? Because
Well,
she clearly loves her son and accepts the grandson.
Either she just like forgot about it, or like she just really wanted to respect, her husband's, wishes, that's what he wanted to do. Because it's not her son, it's his son.
No. Grandma and grandpa have 2 daughters.
Oh, yeah,
and a
that's
son.
right. Oh, fuck. Okay,
So the
yeah.
reason grandpa disowned OP's dad is because he got with another chick who
Okay, yeah.
was...
Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay.
So that's why I'm confused because...
But she said that the whole family thought it was weird that he got with her when she was pregnant with the brother.
Mhm.
So she might have also thought that it was weird. Maybe not to the point of disowning.
Yeah,
but
she kept in contact.
Yeah, that is weird. That is weird.
So I guess I'm just confused on... And then grandma clearly was aware that this was in the will then because she wrote a letter to OP and was like, this is why that you're getting the money and not my son, your dad. But again, that's weird because...
Yeah, so she would have had to have done that with intent because she wrote this letter.
Yeah.
So maybe she wrote that letter before the grandfather passed, but I doubt it.
Yeah, but OP said that it was a letter written a year before, like, they got the inheritance, like, before they spoke.
Okay. So,
So
yeah.
it was around the time she passed.
So she decided,
But I just don't understand that. Like, to me, that's just baffling on why you would do that still.
I mean, maybe she secretly doesn't like him, or
I mean, it could be.
Maybe she really just wants to respect the husband's.
But then again,
wishes.
I still feel like OP might be a little bogus for just keeping all the money. Because here's the thing: if my grandparents, right, my grandma who doesn't speak with me, or anyone in my family, if she all of a sudden left me all the money, like she split it between all her kids, and instead of giving it to my mom, she gave me money, I would feel kind of weird about it. Like, even if I was close with my grandma, like, let's just picture I'm close with my grandma. If she gave me all the money and she didn't give my mom money because she was mad at my mom, I would still feel like I would still want to give my mom money because, one, I love my mom, and I find that whole situation bogus to not do that,
Yeah, the reasoning for why they don't want to give him the money is really not... I don't think it's a very good reason,
Yeah. But I also, it's like I said, I think OP's weird for not even thinking to give her dad any money unless the dad and grandma really didn't have a good relationship and the only reason they had a relationship was because of the grandkids. That could be the only reason that I would be like, okay, yeah. But from what it sounds like the grandma sure thought it was weird, but she still kept in contact with her son this whole time.
It's tricky.
It is.
It's tricky.
Because part of me is like, I can understand. There's one part where I'm more way down to side with OP and be like, no, you're not the asshole. But the other part of me is like, if the only thing that dad did that was wrong was marry a woman who was already pregnant. I think that is a bogus reason to leave him out of the will. And I also think it's weird that OP doesn't think at all. This is a hard situation, but this is kind of a weird one where I think I would want to give my dad some money, as any capacity of it, because one, that's your family and you love him, and he lost his mom.
Well, but maybe she's also feeling maybe she's feeling kind of like betrayed by him, that he didn't like tell her that her brother is like only a half brother.
Why would that really affect you though? I found out that my brother is technically just a half sibling. I would be like, whoa, but I would be like, how would that affect that at all? Because that's still my brother. I still love my brother. That doesn't make me think of my parent any less.
It doesn't really affect anything, but it would make you feel like, oh, you've been like lying to me my whole life.
But why is that an important factor to factor in?
Because maybe that's why she doesn't want to give him any money, because she feels betrayed by him because he lied to her.
Is it lying if he just didn't?
Well, we don't know if he explicitly lied.
Yeah.
Or just lying by omission.
But my thing is how is that a bad thing to like lie about? I would feel more betrayed if like if that my brother was a result of cheating. But this just sounds like my dad got married to my mom who was pregnant, and my dad just accepted her child as his own.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's a good reason to.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, maybe that's what she's feeling about it.
Well, then I feel like she's an asshole. So I'm more leaning, with the information I have, I think I'm more leaning on a slight asshole. My morals tell me that I would not do the same in her situation.
Well, Reddit says you're wrong.
Well,
she was voted not the asshole.
Bro. What are some comments? I want to hear other people's like reasoning for this.
Okay. First of all, you are not the asshole about the inheritance no matter what you decide. Your grandma had a clear reason for what she did, so it's not like there's any funny business that would make her will invalid. Secondly, it sounds like you are struggling with the info your grandma shared, and that's completely fair because it's a lot. I have some thoughts. What your dad did, choosing your mom, even though she was already pregnant, and raising your brother as his own so well that you never even suspected. That is an amazing act of love. I understand that it pissed off your grandpa, but from my perspective, your dad is a real hero here, loyal to your mom and loyal to your brother. I would hate it if you came out of this blaming your dad or blaming your brother, neither of whom did anything wrong. I think it's really sweet that your dad and grandma managed to reestablish their relationship after your grandpa died. Should you tell? I don't know. In general, my instinct is that secrets fester. Now you know this, it's going to be hard for you to hide your strong feelings. Also, keep in mind that everyone in your family knows at this point except your brother. Raising the topic might be hard, but reread my previous paragraph about what a loyal hero your dad is. He loved your brother because he chose your brother along with your mother. I kind of feel like your brother deserves to know. Finally, you don't need to decide about the money right away. Your grandma dropped a crazy amount of information on you, and it's completely unreasonable for you to want, completely reasonable for you to want a while to process. You could even tell them that. As a general rule, when you get a big chunk of money, there is no hurry. You can leave it in cash for a while. You can invest it in a safe mutual funds like I like Vanguard. No harm in letting it sit for like a year or two or three while you figure things out. People who are all excited to do something right away typically make bad decisions.
I agree with them. And I'm glad that they pointed out that the father is a really respectable person for what he did, to just take in a kid that's not his own and lose his father over it. But again, I don't understand the grandma. Julian, I want to hear your thoughts on this because you've been very quiet.
Oh, I would keep the money 100%.
Well, I know that.
I would
fucking damn.
Like no question about it. I would keep the money. Like I like money. If you give me money, I'm keeping it. It's not yours. It's mine. I'm sorry, but I'm not here to share. I'm not sharing. Listen, I'm an only child. I never learned how to share, so I don't know how to.
Yeah, it's very apparent.
It looks like most people said you're the asshole, but for some reason, Stag is not the asshole again. So okay, so Okay, so you're actually in the majority of the Redditors here. Well, I guess again it got voted not the asshole because that top comment
Was upvoted a lot.
Yeah. But there are more number of comments that say not the asshole. Or I mean, yes, the asshole.
Mm.
Um,
Are they all pointing out like how absurd this is?
yeah, someone's saying, okay, so the grandfather was cruel. He was an asshole. Your grandma made a conscious decision to continue that cruelty. She is also an asshole. Now it's OP's turn to choose whether she wants to be an asshole or not.
Yeah, I guess I kind of agree with that. I mean, I don't think they should be harsh on OP, but it is kind of like yeah, you can be the good guy or you can be the bad guy. In a way, like I said, legally it's yours. The will clearly states it's yours. It's your money. But do you really want to like ruin your relationship possibly with your dad and brother?
I mean, for a combined like 700,000 pounds, I mean, maybe. I mean,
I value my family, okay?
listen, I'll do anything for money. Okay, let's be clear
Or
here.
for likes.
Listen, if anybody, if you want to give me $20, listen,
Yo!
I'll take my socks off for $20. Don't even play with me.
Nah. You gotta censor that, okay? Start an OnlyFans for that. Foot action. Even though it's socked up, someone out there will pay hella money.
You guys, link is in the description. No, but I mean, I would probably feel bad about it, but I would probably keep the money. Like just being completely honest, I cannot say that I would feel bad enough that I would give anybody else any money. Like I don't
Okay,
know.
so hypothetically, if your grandparents died and they didn't leave your mom any money, they just left you all the money, you wouldn't give your mom any of it?
Maybe I'd like buy her something with the money.
That's crazy. That's crazy. You wouldn't give her like a $10,000 and be like, go shop for yourself and here's a new car and treat her out to some nice
I'd buy her
dinners.
like a new car and but actual cash, I don't know about that.
Yo, bro doesn't want a CTR done.
Or well, because here's the thing. Because I think that what I would do with that amount of money would be so beneficial to everyone in my family that I wouldn't need to give them any money. Because what I'm going to do is going to be beneficial for everybody. So like I'm going to do whatever with this money to make so much more money that it's going to benefit us more if I just gave you some of the money, is the way I'm looking at it. Because
so you plan to invest the money and then still evenly give some money to the
if
fam.
I got a lump sum of cash like that, I'm not just gonna keep it in a savings account.
Hell no.
What the fuck are you talking about? Absolutely not. Like I'm gonna do something that's gonna make that money just completely compound on itself. Like 700,000 pounds, dollars, whatever.
Yeah, throw that in a.
I don't have a net worth of 10 million in 5 years. What are you talking about? And that's gonna benefit everybody in the family.
Yeah. Well, that's you though. Like, who knows if OP will do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
But here's my question to you: for the money you compound, are you just gonna hoard it, or are you gonna be generous and give your family some, or are you only gonna give them gifts and purchases?
No. After the initial investment, the compounds are going to be used to compound even more. But you can take that out as it comes. So one thing I would definitely do with this amount of money is once it compounds enough, that you have enough extra to continue compounding and buy like $1 million house, I would do that first, and we can all live in this house, and if I want to, and then it becomes a thing. It's like, okay, well, I buy this house and we can all live here. And if I don't want to live here anymore, then, I can just move somewhere else and, they can keep living here. And now it's their house basically. Except it's actually mine, but it's basically theirs.
Yeah, you'd let them stay there.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Charge them fucking rent?
No. But I'm just saying, my ego is so big that I feel like what I would be able to do with this money would benefit them more in the long term than if I just gave it to them.
Well, I guess if you're looking at it in the way of like they still will gain some from the money, then I don't think that's as bad as just taking the money and keeping it all for yourself.
No, I mean, like if I had enough money for it to go around to people, like it's gonna go around.
Yeah, but like in this situation, I thought you were like, yeah, I'm just gonna take the money and I'm not I'm just gonna have it.
Oh no,
Like
no, no.
if you planning. I mean, I think, but bro, I'm gonna learn something from you if I get a nice inheritance. Fucking hell yeah.
Because I think you would benefit more from it compounding that money to then have more money to even compound and then get more assets for the greater good of your family than if you would just had given them a smaller
Yeah.
lump sum because when it compounds, like the more you have, the more it's going to compound. So I wouldn't want to take anything out of that initial lump sum to have less to compound.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
So
you want more money, so it makes more money faster.
exactly. So in this situation, yeah, I'd keep the money. I'm not going to give him like $100,000. I'm going to keep that money so that I can compound it. And then later we can buy a house and then he can live in the damn house.
You should leave a comment. This is how you do this.
That's the way I'm thinking about it. You know, I sound like one of those YouTubers that's like, if you're not a millionaire by the time you're 20, you're just an idiot.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what I think about it. So there's no updates on that one. Hopefully she does that. If you did, let us know, please. Okay, final story. Best of Reddit updates, originally from Am I the Asshole, of course. Title reads, Am I the Asshole for not giving my house to my sister-in-law? Here, we got another one like this. We got another one like this. Okay, throwaway for obvious reasons. This happened 2 nights ago, and I'm still feeling some type of way about it. Background, my 30-year-old woman husband, 32-year-old man, has a younger sister, sister-in-law who's 25-year-old woman. Sister-in-law is currently going through a divorce with 4 children. My husband and I also have 4 children. My husband and I live on a very quiet country back road in our little town, us and his family being the only residences on the road. So both his sisters and their families and his parents live within walking distance of our house. My parents and I have been married for 7 years and have 4 young children. My husband bought the land we live on from our parents when he was 18 and when we got married. We built a house on it. We designed our house with a big family in mind and designed it to be our forever home. It has never been a thought to move or look elsewhere. My sister-in-law is going through a divorce. She is struggling, to say the least. She was in a very toxic relationship with her ex, with her contributing just as much as he was, and he filed for divorce and moved out, leaving the 4 kids with her. My mother-in-law called my husband 2 nights ago and asked if we could come over for a chat. We get there, and my in-laws and sister-in-law are sitting on the couch like they were staging some kind of intervention. It was just really strange. My mother-in-law didn't beat around the bush at all. She explained how sister-in-law's ex was getting the house in the divorce, and they would be homeless within the month if we didn't give her our home. It honestly took me a second to comprehend what she even said because it was so out of left field. Husband didn't need that second and looked them dead in the eyes and said no. In-laws started telling us things like, you don't need all that house. You guys can move into one of the new neighborhoods in town. You guys can just build a new house. I offered to open up our playroom and guest bedroom to them until they could find somewhere to live. We have air mattresses and the guest room has a full bath, but that was not good enough apparently. That's when we got up and left. They began yelling after us, saying we don't care about the children, family helps family, we're being greedy and selfish, etc., etc. I'm honestly so proud of how we reacted because my first instinct was to go off and say some hurtful things, but we just went home to our home. We love sister-in-law's kids and obviously do not want them to be homeless, but they don't need my house at the expense of my own children and family. I don't see why sister-in-law's family deserves my home. What about my kids? Now the in-laws are calling/texting saying we don't care about the kids, we're selfish and greedy, we're making her homeless, and I'm wondering if maybe we were too quick to say no. So am I the asshole for not giving my home to my sister-in-law?
That is such a crazy request.
So she literally does want their house, like the whole house. Like she wants like them to give her the house.
Yeah, they want OP and their family to move and give the sister-in-law the home that they built from the ground up.
That they built on
Land.
the husband's parents' land that he bought from them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So she wants the house because she has how many kids?
4.
And OP also has 4 kids.
Yeah.
So what makes her 4 kids more important than OP's 4 kids?
Okay, here's my assumption. Right? Assumptions, everyone. She doesn't have a job. She can't afford a place. She can't afford childcare. She doesn't have a job. She can't move anywhere. OP and her husband, they have jobs. They can't afford. They could possibly afford this, like a move and not selling their home. They could probably move, and that's why they're being asked to do it. So I'm assuming that sister-in-law didn't work, was maybe a stay-at-home mom or something. And that's why she, one, can't get the house because she probably just can't afford it. It's probably got a mortgage on it.
How is the husband getting the house in the divorce if she's getting the kids?
I was just about to say that. That was just about to be
Is
my
she
thing.
making this up? Because that doesn't make sense.
Because then you would, because usually in divorces, unless there's some sort of prenup or something, I just assumed like a prenup, if the prenup says the husband gets the house in the divorce. Okay, sure.
But then why wouldn't they also give him the kids then?
Yeah.
If he's the one that has a house.
But also, usually in divorces, though, like, you have to sell the home if both of you can't agree on who gets the home and there's no prenup or anything. You have to sell the home. And then someone has to qualify to refinance the home in their name.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Because why would you give the house to one person and then give the kids to the other person that's not getting the house?
Unless it's like a split custody and the kids will be with him sometime, or they just haven't worked that out yet. But yeah, that doesn't make any sense. There had to have been some sort of agreement that he got the house, or the sister-in-law was just like, take the fucking house. But from what it sounds like is the sister-in-law lives on the same street that the whole fucking family lives on.
Yeah, because they're within walking distance.
So the ex-husband is just going to be living right on the same road as everyone else. I guess I'm super confused.
Yeah, this is wacky.
I guess I'm more confused on how he gets to keep the house in full. And the sister-in-law, because that makes it sound to me like they don't have to sell the home. Because usually in divorces, if you can't agree, at least here, Wisconsin, from my understanding and talking to people who have gone through divorces, if you can't agree on who gets the house, if you can't like come to a mutual agreement, you have to sell the home. Like it's literally you have to sell it, and then one of you has to qualify. Like if, let's say like my boyfriend and I, well, we were married and we bought a house together. And we're getting divorced. I want the house, but he also wants the house. And we can't agree on who gets the house. The courts would be like, you have to fucking sell it then. And then you both have to try to qualify for a loan on your own to buy the house.
Yeah, and okay, and so the other thing is too, so she asked for their house, which is ridiculous. And, me personally, I'd be like, no, get the fuck out of here. What are you talking about? But she was nice enough to be like, oh, well, you can use the, these rooms. And she's like, no, I need the whole house.
Yeah, that
like, what
that
are
is
you
crazy.
talking about? She even offered. You're not making somebody homeless. You offered for her to stay with you. You're not responsible for making her homeless. If she refuses to go to your house when you offered that.
Damn, that just pisses me off. Just the audacity to ask that or demand that is crazy.
Well, let's see what happens in the update, which is from 6 days later. Update says, so as a lot of you and myself thought, sister-in-law was lying about a lot. I bet he's not getting in the house. Not going to go into too much detail because it's seriously years worth of lies. But my husband and I called her the ex-Bill. I don't know what that means. And we 100% fully believe everything her ex told us. He has no reason to lie to us and said over and over he just wants the best for his kids, and he's trying his best not to do anything that could possibly harm him in a court of law. She lied about him getting the house, lied about how much she was going to get in child support, lied about how often she would have the children. Something else that came out is that her oldest child is not even her ex's child. Just so many lies. We feel so incredibly stupid and deceived and disgusted, to be honest. We told my in-laws everything he had said, and they were upset to find out she had been lying. But they kind of doubled down, saying she must have had a good reason. She's backed into a corner. She's really going through a tough time, and a bunch of other nonsense. Sister-in-law was called and asked to come and join us. She, of course, took zero accountability for the lying and sneaking, and she was screaming at us about how gross we were for going behind her back to her ex, how she will never trust us again because we betrayed her. She also let us know that she was asking for our house because she truly feels like we had actually built it for her. Our kids' rooms were basically how she would have designed them herself, and she would love to cook in my kitchen. She loves my bathroom layout, especially everything about my house is how she would have built it herself. And she thinks that I must have somehow known she would need a home in the future.
Oh my God.
Wow.
The delusion is crazy.
At that point, I was just done, and so was my husband. Can't argue with batshit crazy. We left to a whole lot of screaming about no longer being family and to not expect to see them again. Honestly, I think never seeing them again is the only way to go from here. It's been a crazy few days since then. We hired a friend of my husband's to put up a privacy fence around our entire property and added extra cameras to our security system. We have a good family friend of our family, not husband's, on the police force and let him know the situation, so he knows if he gets a phone call from us that it's serious. I think sister-in-law thought that she could have my house because she loved it. That's kind of it. She wanted it, so thought she deserved it. I guess she was either planning to sell her house at some point or maybe rent it out. I have no idea, and I really don't think she had thought that all the way through. She just thought that if she told us she was losing the house, then we would feel obligated to help the way that she wanted. So I hope this clears up some questions. I know I feel at peace with the situation. My husband has been grieving a bit. He's sad that his parents have chosen a liar over a man who has done everything for his family, never hesitated to help, and has only ever been a doting son. But I think this is for the best. They don't treat him the way he deserves, and I'm glad to be rid of them. I'm sad for my kids and the situation this puts them in, but my family has enough love for everyone. Thank you to everyone who took the time to comment and message and give advice and ask questions. Hopefully you guys won't hear from us again. She said, you built the house, but I know you built the house for me.
That is so delusional. You designed it the exact way I would have.
How did you know I wanted this house?
Oh. Oh.
That's actual like insanity. Like she might
Yeah.
like actually have a mental illness.
Oh, probably. Just the fact that she could lie so easily. And it sounds like she is getting the house.
Yeah, so she's keeping the house.
So how did she plan to lie about that?
Well, because I guess OP thought maybe she was going to sell that one or she was going to like rent it out. So it looked like there was, there's other people living there.
I guess, but then here's my thing. Like, they had to have known then. They would have found out that it wasn't the husband who owned the home.
Well, yeah, this is a dumb plan.
Like,
never would have worked.
No, it never would have. So it's like, what? The audacity on this woman. And the audacity of like the mom and dad to just be like, well, she might have had a good reason.
Yes.
What? Did you not hear the delusional talk she's saying when she says that the house that we built is hers? So like,
yeah, she must have a good reason for that.
Like, no,
there's no good reason for that.
No good reason at all. I'm so sorry that they have to live right next to these people still.
Well, I'm sorry that this is OP's husband's sister.
Yeah, yeah. But then again, they have to live right down the road from the mom and dad and who's welcoming this crazy bitch.
Is she getting the kids or was that a lie too?
I think she lied about how often she'll have the kids. I don't think it explicitly said.
Oh, yeah, lied about how often she would have. So she's not even getting like full custody.
Yeah, no. Which, I mean, would check out. It sounds like the husband does want to be involved in his kid's life.
Well, in this case, that seems like a good thing that she's not getting full custody of them.
Yeah, I agree.
She probably shouldn't be getting any custody of them, but
yeah, I gotta wait for her to slip up. I have a feeling that the husband might just go for full custody.
Yeah. This comment is, you ever read a post and think, I wonder how their brain works? I'd pay a lot to understand what forms that family's logic. Mm-hmm. She will never trust us again. Lady, you tried to hamburglar OP's house. her being like, I'd love to cook in my kitchen.
Yeah. You made it just for me.
She's like, oh, I can't believe you guys are so nice. You designed the bedrooms just for me and the kids.
You just met me and you just married my brother, but you made this home exactly for me. We must have had a bond before this. Like, what, a woman? What the fuck is wrong with you?
It's like, we must have known each other in a previous life.
Sadly, sounds like.
Oh, my crystals told me that
that's
you
what
made this house for me.
Immediately when she said that, I was like, what kind of crystals that woman got hanging around?
Alrighty, so those are our family drama stories. Delusional people.
I could never live in these families. It would drive me crazy.
Yeah, I think families on Reddit are like a whole nother level of family.
You never hear the good stories, very rarely.
And that's the thing about it is it's all if it's on Reddit, it's probably not good.
Yeah.
So all right, guys, hit that like button, comment down below any topics you want to see in the future. Hit that subscribe button. So OnlyFans in the description. Like I said, I will, if you watch the video all the way through, I will suck your dick. And I was not kidding. The link is in the description. Oh my God. It's right down there.
I will not be there.
I will. It's right down there. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you guys in next week's episode.